What's going on, media soldiers? Brandon here of Warzone Media Arts, and today we're discussing something fanboys can argue over endlessly, and that is why Marvel movies are better than DC. Now, this is strictly going to be analyzing the respective cinematic universes, so that means no Dark Knight and no Ghost Rider, so we can't use those in our arguments, gents. It is strictly the cinematic universe films. As always, be sure to smash that like button down below. Let's see if we can get this video to 50 likes. And without further ado, let's get started. So number 5, I want to talk about the humor in Marvel films. Now, I know that the humor in Marvel films are not for everyone. Not everyone likes every single joke, but they are essential for good filmmaking, and let me explain. Good humor in a film provides levity for the audience and a feeling of comfort to the audience that can actually suck the audience in when the more intense things are happening. It also makes you feel at home. It makes you feel like you can relate to the characters more. This is then contrasted to the more intense moments where we actually feel for those characters and want to see them succeed. However, DC has taken themselves too seriously, way too seriously, and have forgotten these important elements to making a film, and not just any film, but a comic book movie. Yes, these are comic book movies. They're supposed to be about fun, excitement, adventure, seeing our heroes succeed. And honestly, only Batman gets to be dark and dreary and mopey and stuff. Number 4, Marvel understands their characters. While DC has the more iconic characters like Superman and Batman and Wonder Woman, Marvel knows their characters almost to an intimate level. Their strengths and their weaknesses in each character, and Marvel can introduce and develop them with a keen eye, knowing their personalities, knowing what fits, and knowing the characters inside and out. DC, on the other hand, acts like their characters don't need to be developed or introduced. Everyone knows Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, and we can make them cool and gritty for the new movie-going audience. It just kind of sounds really, really bad when you think about it. On the other hand, Marvel is taking the time and effort to reintroduce a character that we've seen countless times on the small screen and the big screen that has become an icon of American superhero culture, and that is Spider-Man. And they're doing it in a compelling and definitive way, wanting to put the definitive Peter Parker / Spider-Man on screen in Tom Holland. This time and effort into their characters obviously is going to make Marvel films stand out above DC films. Number 3, knowing their fan base. I'm going to rant a little bit about this, just a tad. Marvel is on a mission. Marvel has always had the mind to convert people into fans. And Marvel also knows this means highlighting the best attributes of what the fans like in their films, in their characters, and in their stories. This is going to draw a wider audience, and it's worked for Marvel so far. This obviously translates to better films in the long run because they can appeal to the fan base that already know about the characters and the stories, and yet they can also reach out, cast a wider net for the average moviegoer. Number 2, no clear leader or authority figure over the DC films. Kevin Feige, enough said. The fact that DC still is unclear about who their central leader is quite baffling. You would think undertaking a big cinematic universe with all these iconic characters, you would have the one guy who understands them and understands their stories and their characters so much that you could lean the authority on this guy and have him in control of every single film, much like Kevin Feige is in Marvel Studios. However, this is not the case with DC. There is no discernible leader behind this cinematic universe, and that is the thing that scares me the most for the long run in DC film. And finally, number 1, having clear goals from the start with the Marvel Cinematic Universe. This is what sets Marvel apart from any other studio. Yes, you may think it's a little bit overdone that they have a map stretching out
to infinity and beyond.
But Kevin Feige is clear. He has a goal for this cinematic universe, and he has had this goal from the start. even before Spider-Man was in their legal hands, Marvel had a plan to use him in their cinematic universe, and they stopped at nothing to get that plan worked out. Even though DC has been in talks for years and even decades for a cinematic universe of their own, it seems this cinematic universe that we're getting has been thrown together simply as a response to Marvel. And when that happens, nobody wins. And with that being said, for this video's comment challenge, I want to hear what you like and or dislike about the Marvel Cinematic Universe films and the DC Cinematic Universe films. Leave a comment below, let me know, I'd love to hear from you. And while you're at it, check out our other content on the channel as well, and you can tune in to the Warzone Radio podcast every Tuesday on iTunes and Stitcher. Thanks again for watching, guys. My name is Brandon for WarzoneMedia.com. I'll see you next time. God bless.